Hey, it's Scott. Hopefully you're well. And as you can see, my eyes are watery. I've just been extremely tired today, and I don't feel fatigued that I can tell, but maybe it's fatigue and not tiredness. I'm not sure. Um, yeah. So if you could just say a quick prayer for me, send one up to the man, I'd greatly appreciate it. We're moving on to walk number 27. We went all the way through Matthew 12, 38 through 45. That also encompasses Luke 24 through 32. So if you're following along in Luke, that's a helpful spot as well. Let's see what Jesus says about family. We are family, all my brothers, sisters, and me. I don't know if that was any good or worth it, but you didn't pay a quarter, so you don't get any better. You got to put that quarter in the jukebox to get any better than that, right? Matthew 12:46. This is a triple parallel. Matthew, Luke, and Mark talk about this one, and Jesus talks about his family. Let's see what Jesus says about his true family. As Jesus was speaking to the crowd, his mother and brothers stood outside, asking to speak to him. Someone told Jesus, "Your mother and brothers are outside, and they want to speak to you." Jesus asked, "Who is my mother? Who are my brothers?" Then he pointed to his disciples and said, "Look, these are my mother and brothers. Anyone who does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Pretty much Mark says the same exact thing, and Luke says something a little bit different. Luke says, Jesus replied, "My mother and my brothers are all those who hear God's word and obey it." Let's see what this says in the text. I mean, it seems pretty self-explanatory, but it also seems a little sarcastic to me again. Jesus, did he carry that sarcastic love language? Is it possible? Is sarcasm a sin? Let's see what it says in the text below. Matthew, Mark. Here, let's see what Mark says in the reboot. It says, Jesus' mother was Mary, and his brothers were probably the other children Mary and Joseph had after Jesus. Duh. Some Christians believe that ancient tradition that Jesus was Mary's only child. If this is true, the brothers were probably cousins. How in the heck does that work? What? I didn't realize that. I don't believe that at all. Some have offered yet another suggestion. Who Joseph married Mary, he was a widow. When Joseph married Mary, he was a widow, and there were his children by his first marriage. Most likely, however, these were Jesus' half-brothers. Jesus' family did not fully understand his ministry, as seen in Mark 3:21. Okay. That's interesting. So no wonder, that's interesting. So no wonder James, James and who knows how old James and Judah were. Maybe they were half brothers from Joseph's first marriage, and maybe, just maybe, they were older than Jesus. Who knew, right? I had never heard that before. So, man, that's really cool. I'm so glad we went to the text. Let's go back and just get a little reboot from Mark 3:21. Mark 3:21. And just see what the text, the subtext, I call it, is referring to when he talks about his family. Mark 3:21 says, when his family heard about this, they went to take charge of him, for they said he is out of his mind. Jesus accused by his family and teachers of the law. Then Jesus entered a house, and again a crowd gathered, so that he and his disciples were not able to eat. When his family heard about this, they went to take charge of him, for they said he is out of his mind. Wow, I didn't know that part at all. That's wild. So they started to wonder, was Jesus radical? Was he insane? What was going on? So that could be why Jesus was a little sarcastic. Jesus knew that the disciples were all in. They were committed. And yet his mother and his brothers, half brothers, the way it sounds. Well, of course they were half brothers because Jesus was God's son and Mary's son as well. So no matter what, they were half brothers. But if Mary truly only had one son, it was Jesus. She was starting to wonder. She was questioning, is this the King of the Jews? Is this the Messiah? Is it, she was just going through her own season of wondering and questioning, even though an angel had stood before her and said, do not be afraid, because God is with you and you will have a child, and that child will be named Jesus. And now we're here about 10 days before Christmas, and Mary is concerned. Mary doesn't believe, possibly. Who knew? Who knew? So does that challenge you in your walk as a Christian during this Christmas season? Who is Jesus for you? God bless. Have a great day. Text me. Let me know what you think about this message, what you think about this text. I haven't given you many insights on it, so I'm curious what you think about it. Was Jesus sarcastic?